Well, welcome back. In this video, I finished the fabrication of this complete portal frame. So in the last video, I had these columns up, and now I'm just getting started by making up the trusses. So the workshop consists of 6 trusses. These are quite substantial U-beams, and the reason for that is there's, out of the 6, 4 of them actually hold an engine hoist, so they do need to be quite heavy duty because they do span over a 7-meter length. So I cut these out. The pitch of the roof is 20 degrees. I do try a couple methods of cutting these because I had so much cutting to do, and one is with this oxy, as you can see, and you know what, it was alright. I did also try grinding them with the cut-off wheel, which, to be honest, I don't know which is better. They both work just as well. The grinding's a bit cleaner, amount of time is probably about the same, so didn't make a lot of difference. So once I cut these off, I then ground them up a little bit because I needed to do a full penetration weld, given that, you know, this is a structural build, and I put a chamfer on them and needed a little bit of a gap so that, as I say, I can get a good weld in there. Now once I cut the first 2, I actually laid them out in the workshop area, leveled them out, and spent a bit of time just to make sure they were exactly positioned properly. So here you can see with the string lines, I mark off the center, I check that it's both 20 degrees both sides, and then I use this one as a template. So, you know, it might seem overkill, but to me the effort in getting these really accurate is worth it when you go putting the cladding on and just everything fits, because it's going to be nice and square. So here's another beam, just cutting it down with the cut-off wheel. As I said, worked fine. The benefit of this is the cut is obviously cleaner, but it does take a bit longer. So there's all the trusses cut and the first one welded, and then what I do, here's the second one, just sit it on top. After the first one, it does get a lot easier, and I just repeat the process pretty much 6 times. Now one thing you'll notice with this is when I put the purlin brackets on, I actually sit them in the middle of those I-beams rather than on top. So most people put their purlins on top of trusses. I'm not going to do that because I want this to be as clean looking as possible. So what I'm going to do is you'll see in a minute, I'll put the purlin brackets in the middle of these I-beams. The reason for that is I can clad directly over them for the roof, and then I intend to clad under them as well, and you won't see any of this frame whatsoever when it's all built. And same applies for the girts around the walls. They are going to sit inside those columns, so they're 150mm columns, and I'm going to use 150mm girts, so it just fills in the gap nicely. And these trusses are 200mm or 8-inch, and the purlins C-sections are exactly 8-inch as well. So here they all are, all 6. You see the top 2 are a bit smaller, and they're the 2 that don't support my engine hoist, so they're just supporting the roof, and for that reason they're a bit more lightweight. So they're all welded up at this point. Then what I had to do is put this cross piece in. So this is an I-beam cut to size as well, and I just welded in. Again, it's to support my engine hoist, but you know, doing this does make these trusses massively stronger, so it was a good idea to do it anyway. Regardless, I did it on every beam, and yeah, quite happy with the way it turned out. Once I had all the welding of the trusses done, it was time to start making up the cleats for the purlins and the girts. So there was a massive amount to do. There was probably 200 of these all up, and you know, I did choose just to grind them. Grinding them didn't take too long individually, but because of the numbers, it was a really long day's work to get them all done. Same as the drilling. So yeah, this is one job I was glad to see the end of, to be honest. All these cleats are 10mm thick as well, Some I fully weld and some I just stitch weld. So there you go, wasn't a bad day's work in the end. Once I had them all cut, I start putting the purlin brackets on the trusses, and I made this little jig just to position them so they'd be consistent, and it would make fitting the purlins a bit easier. Now the spacing of these about 1200 mil. I'm going to use a heavy gauge corrugated iron which can span a lot more than that, but I chose to go a bit closer with the purlins because I'm going to put a big solar system on this as well. And you can see the two at the end are quite close together, and I'll probably show you that a bit later and what the reason for that is. So as you can see there, the purlin brackets sit inside, and I think in the end this is going to allow me to get a nice clean finish. And whilst this is all hard work, when it's all done you won't see any of this frame inside or out. So there's all the trusses all finished welded, and then what I did was took those columns down and then progressively went around and welded all of the cleats on for the girts and purlins. So this here is a double plate, two 10mm plates together that is on the top of the column, and this one gets welded to the column as you can see, and one gets welded to the truss, so the truss is bolted. Now what you'll see in a moment is I'm going to add a loft as well at one end of this workshop, and this bracket here, there's 4 of them. It's going to hold up a 310mm U-beam, and that'll be the floor support for the loft, so I should end up with a really nice loft for storing parts and things. Here's one of the girt brackets, and you can see I'm only stitch welding here because I didn't want to go overboard with welding, and you know, it does increase the risk of some distortion of the beams like that when you put too much heat in it. So there's brackets all over the place. I think I've got them right. I'll soon find out when I put this thing up. The last thing to do was put a nice protective coating on it, and I chose this epoxy zinc based paint. It's over 90% zinc. It was great paint, to be honest, and I think this will provide really good protection. I don't really need to do this to the trusses or things that are above ground, but you know, I've gone this far. It just felt like the right thing to do, so I thought, why not? I'm doing everything else properly, so I don't want to stop here. So there's the first one, come up real good. I didn't spray paint it. It would have been quicker, but I'm not that keen on having toxic sort of gases like that flying around when you can just brush it on and you save on paint as well. So here's all the beams, columns, trusses all ready to go. In the next video I will be starting the final assembly and aiming towards getting the roof on ASAP and then the concrete slab. See you in the next video.